Good afternoon, everybody. It is Mike, the Bowtie Writer, and happy Wednesday. Welcome to the first video that I have filmed in my new office. I am super excited. I do have a video planned to actually show you this in a little bit more of a pretty glamorous detail. But today I just wanted to have a conversation because I've got a lot of new stuff that I'm working on. I've got a lot of new projects, and I've seen a lot of people on Twitter diving into new projects because of Camp NaNoWriMo, and it seemed a pertinent time to kind of talk about the life cycle that projects go through. It's kind of an interesting technical piece that I wanted to go through. So yeah, I'm really excited to have this conversation. Let's get to it. So let's talk about life cycle. I come from actually the day job working alongside programmers, and programmers constantly talk about iterative design, and programmers have spent a lot of time thinking about how projects are conceived and then how they are implemented and all the steps that are in between. And so one of the things that they have done is they have managed to slowly come up with models of the different projects and how projects go through this. And that work is actually, really interestingly enough, that is based off of the work of some Swedish psychologists, and they break down all projects into like 5 broad stages of development. Do you guys hear that? Do you hear that? Oh my gosh, that is really annoying. That is the downside of this new space. Sorry if you hear that. I think it's that guy again. Hold on, let's go take a look. Hold on. It's been kind of a nuisance, but let's see. I've been sitting here working with this guy for the last while, and this guy, he is a piece of work. Let me tell you, this guy's a piece of work. So, he calls himself a writer, but he comes up with the stupidest story ideas. Like, his most recent story is like Lady Musketeers.
I ain't trying to be mean, but it's the dumbest thing ever. It's not a good story idea.
I told him
and he starts like trying to talk to some of the characters, and I'm like, these characters are totally flat, man. I don't
even understand why you thought they were going to be interesting to begin with. And you know, this is following up his other laughable attempt at a book. Agents are going to run from that thing, I tell you. It's just like, he had an okay space opera idea. The writing was still terrible. The writing was still crap. But he had this okay space opera idea, and he just ruined it by adding like goofy robots. And I'm just like, this is just dumb. Why are you doing this? You just need to stop. And what's with the bow ties? I don't understand. The bow ties, they just look horrible. Why would you just, why? I don't understand. This guy, he just needs to do the world a favor, and he needs to stop. That guy, right? As creators, I feel like we all have some annoying roommate like that guy who is out there just constantly in the back of your head, bad-mouthing everything you do. Just telling you everything that you are working on is bad and awful and that you should just stop. Look, I'll be honest. Those new projects that I was working on that I talked about, they hit snags like this. They had that jerk starting to catch up to them. It sucked. It really was throwing me for a loop for a few days. The biggest thing I can tell you is that voice lies. You can do this. You do have a story that's worth telling. You do know what you're doing. Your words matter. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you that with experience it goes away and that it gets better. I don't think it does. As far as I know, every one of my friends, every one of the established authors that I've talked to, they have all, at some point or another, still had to deal with the doubts that what they're doing just is not any good. That's normal. As crappy as it is, it is normal to have a voice like that in the back of your head, that bit of doubt that is constantly there. You're part of the crowd, you're part of the club. It's perfectly normal to be having that voice. Dealing with that roommate is always a little more difficult. Personally, I've found a couple things that really don't work and one thing that really does work for me. So one thing that absolutely does not work is just like trying to force it. Trying to like pep talk, shout myself into like, hoo-ha, this book is actually really good, I got this, yeah! That doesn't work. I've tried that, and for me what ends up resulting is that I just like try to pep myself up, but I don't actually believe it, and so then I just feel like more of a fake, and it makes me feel way worse. So I definitely don't try to do that. The other thing that I tried to do that absolutely does not work was I started trying to make a bunch of like very specific, hyper-measurable goals and tried to meet them. The problem with that was that what I found was that I would frequently not meet those goals, even the really easy goals that I tried to set for myself. And then I would just like snowball. I would feel way worse because I'd be like, oh gosh, they're right. It is terrible. I really can't do this. I really must not want this. So that was awful. Don't recommend that one either. I found one thing that works for me. Just one. And the one thing that works for me is to sit down and to try and just write 100 words. For me, that voice only shuts up. That voice only stops talking to me once I'm actually down at a keyboard starting to put words to paper. That's the only time that that voice goes away for me. And so whenever I'm really kind of consumed by that doubt and I'm just sort of scared or paralyzed or thinking that I can't do anything, that's where I that tiny little step of 100 words. Because typically I'll write those 100 words and be like, all right, that wasn't so bad. That was okay. I can keep going. I don't worry about revising the whole draft. I don't worry about looking back for the whole draft. I don't worry about future timetables. I worry about creating in the now. That's the only thing that I can work on. That's the only thing that I can control. That's all that I had for today. I just wanted to have this brief conversation because I know that that annoying roommate has been around in my head a lot the last few weeks. I wanted to have that brief conversation to acknowledge it and to give you some of my methods, the things that haven't worked and the things that I've tried that do. I hope you find something that's helpful. Feel free to let me know down below in the comments if there's something that you've tried that doesn't help you with the doubt, or if there's something that you do that does work really well. I'd be really interested to hear it because I think this is a conversation that is not had openly enough nor often enough. And it leaves people dealing with a very difficult topic on their own. So that's all that I had for today. Everybody, I hope that you're having a wonderful week. I hope that you're creating something awesome. All right, I'm Mike the Bowtie Writer. I'll see y'all next time. Be kind to yourselves. Okay, one other quick thing before you get out of here, just very, very briefly. I want to be clear, I am not trying to conflate this kind of creative anxiety and creative doubt with more serious mental health issues, like things like severe depression, because that stuff is incredibly serious and can very legitimately derail you, and it can also sound very, very similar at first. So if you're dealing with something like that, you're not alone. Seeking help is incredibly hard, but it is also incredibly worth it. I know it's done wonders for me. Be kind to yourselves and take care of yourselves. All right.